Hello, welcome to Casper Core's Center for Relaxation. How are you today? Well, I hope by the time you leave our session, you feel even just the littlest bit better. My name is Calliope, and I'm going to be taking care of you today. The very first thing we want to do, let me get my little multi-tool here. This will be our most important part of our process. So, let's see. That's not the right one. Nope. We'll just keep filing through till we get to the right setting. There we are. So, I am just going to illuminate different parts of your body, maybe some gentle touching, and we're going to assess the tension levels in your body. So if I could just have you stay as still as possible. You don't have to be stiff. Just try to keep movement to a minimum because that affects your tension levels. So, I am just looking over the face to start. We have the forehead, the temples, the space between the brows, the glabella, each cheek, and so far, let me look here. Okay, we have some moderate tension levels here. Nothing crazy. And each ear here. Each ear. And over the head here. There we are. Just passing over. Looking for particular areas of tension that we should focus on. Like, for example, if I were to come right over here, right in this area, along this frontalis muscle, we have a big spot of tension here. And if I come around to the back here, we have a good amount right at the base of the neck. Yeah, that's a high level of tension right there. So let's just keep going. Let's look along the neck here. I'm just gathering information so that we can serve you best. Along the shoulders here. Good. Down each arm. Weaving the wand down each arm. A few passes at a time. Good, so shoulder here. Quite tense. Shoulder here. Quite tense. You do have quite a bit of muscle tension, so this treatment should be absolutely wonderful for you. We're just going to go down and down, down, down. Let's see what areas are highlighted here. So definitely the front of the chest, a little bit of the sides here. Good. And the lower body here. upper thighs, certainly. And I'm getting a little bit of a read with the hips, but I think that's a bit of radiation from the back. That wouldn't surprise me if that wraps around a bit to the anterior body. Okay, calves a bit. Could I have you just flip around for me? There we are. So, looking at the head here. There, so right in here, like we said, along the occiput and down. We have the cervical vertebrae. Anyone in particular? Okay, T1, the hot spot as well. Trapezius is lighting up quite a bit. Let's look at that one. Okay, trapezius has quite a bit of tension. And then just down the back. Down the back. Oh, yeah. Yes, indeed. So, sacrum and along the hips here, the whole pelvis is pretty tense. And the gluteal muscles, definitely, doesn't surprise me. Back of the legs. Yeah, just those calves mostly. Okay. Let's see. Top of the head here. Okay, just a little bit right in here and there, but mostly right in here and that front part of the head. Go ahead and flip back around. Let me turn this puppy off. And we are going to work with each little area. The ones that don't have very much tension, the ones that do. We're going to manually look at each area and try to relax that down. So, we need this guy, and I am just going to direct your attention to different places of the body, and I'm also going to touch them. When I direct your attention to an area, I want you to focus on the area and just kind of clue into the sensations and try to manually relax that. So if I were to say focus on your forehead, try to see everything you feel in this area. Any tension, any sensations on the skin, maybe even areas that are quite relaxed. And we're going to let that soften down. So, let's start right here at the mouth. So, I'm going to have you focus on the upper lip and just kind of check in with that. See if there's any tension. Try to let it go. Lower lip. The space in between the lips. We have the chin right in here. Right here. Chin. The right side of the jaw. Left side of the jaw. Right in here. We have the tip of the nose right there. Tip of the the right cheek, left cheek. You might just feel a little bit of softening as I touch each area. That's what this particular function is for. It's just to help ease a little bit of the tension so that you can do the rest. We have the space between the eyebrows, the right eye, left eye, forehead, right temple, left temple, right ear, left ear, the top of the head here, right in here, this whole area that I'm touching here, top of the head, and we're going to move this down to the neck. So right in here we have the neck. We're just going to gently touch those areas there, front and the sides. Good. And the space between the clavicles here, the hollow of the throat. We have the sternum, heart center, center of the chest right here. The right side of the chest, left side of the chest, right shoulder, left shoulder. We're going to touch the right upper arm, down here, right elbow, right lower arm, right wrist, right hand, back of the hand, palm of the hand, thumb, first finger, second finger, third finger, fourth finger. And then come over here. We have the left upper arm right here. Left elbow. Lower arm. Wrist. Back of the hand. Palm of the hand. Thumb. First finger. Second finger. Third finger. Fourth finger. Good. Now coming back to the torso here, we are going to go to the upper abdomen, right here, lower abdomen, right hip, left hip, the right upper thigh here, to the knee, lower leg, ankle, the top of the foot, bottom of the foot, big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, the left thigh, left knee, left leg, ankle, the top of the foot, bottom of the foot, first toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe. I could have you switch around. coming back up here. So we have the top of the head right in here. We have all the way down to where the head meets the neck at the occiput, right here. We have the back of the neck, the cervical vertebrae, vertebra by vertebra, the muscles in the neck here. We have the trapezius muscle along the shoulders and coming down the upper back, the right shoulder blade, left shoulder blade, down the spine, middle back, the lower back, sacrum, right hip, left hip, and each gluteal muscle here, and the back of the thigh, back of the left thigh, the calf muscle, the right side, calf muscle on the right and the left side rather. And you can go ahead and flip back around. So we've gotten those areas to soften just a little bit, which means they should be a lot more responsive to a little bit of massage. So I'm going to touch an area and I'm going to be able to manipulate it right here in front of you so that we can get each area all combed out and pull out all of that tension. So why don't we start right here along the forehead, and we are just going to very gently scrub away that tension. I'm going to do a little scrubbing and just working on that muscle right there. We can work in with these little circles and get that all softened down. Good. And we can stretch it out. Sometimes it's nice to just pull and stretch the muscle. Stretch. Smooth it out. Smooth the forehead. And then we can just put that back into place, reshape it as we need to, and just relax that down. There. Now, let's see. We can work here with the jaw muscles here. So, big one is going to be the masseter here. So, let's just go ahead and on both sides, we're going to scrub away the tension here. And just kind of work in a little deep here. Good. Okay, now let's see if we can just stretch that a little bit. We can just stretch each side just a little bit and get a little bit more elasticity in the area. This one's a little tricky, so I'm just gonna reactivate these muscles a little bit. And let's see. Good. Just get them a little more softened. And then let's see if we can stretch that out a bit more. Yeah, it's a little more pliable. Good. Stretch that out. Smooth each one out. Good. And see if we can just reshape it so that it's not pulled too tight, it's not too loose, but every area is just right. Attachments are correct, and we need just enough tension to be able to move everything, but not so much that it causes issues. Good. And just relax each of those sides of the jaw, each master muscle. Just relax that down. There we are. Okay. How about the temporalis here? We need to wake those up a bit. So, just get a little bit of softness in there. And then let's go ahead and just scrub each area. Work with each side. Here we are. Good. Each side. Little scrubbing. And we'll just do a bit of stretching here. Are you feeling any sort of pain or discomfort as I'm just adjusting everything? Okay, do let me know if you do. There. And then, so we need to make sure that one attaches correctly. Just adjust tension. Good. And then this here. Just putting things where they're supposed to be and making sure it doesn't tangle with anything else. Good. Adjusting that. There. And then we'll just smooth those out. Let those lie nicely, and we can just let that relax. There we are. Okay. Let's see. So, we've gotten right here, right in here, here. Okay, there's a little bit right here, so I'm just going to do just a little bit of a scrub right in there. There we are. Smooth that out. Smooth that all out. And just scrub away at the tension. There. needs to just smoothing that all out. Smoothing everything out. Good. Okay. So it's been a few moments, a little bit of time, and we really want to get some work in on the upper chest and shoulders. So let me get a little more softness in here, reactivate all of that right in here. Good. There we are. Then let's go ahead and just start with the shoulders in here. So this is kind of a big area, and we're going to do a good amount of scrubbing here, and we're going to try to really get in there. Good. Just massaging the fibers, working out any knots, any little hiccups in the fascia. One side, the other. Just scrubbing away the tension. Letting the muscles soften further. There. Let them sink down a little bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and stretch them out a bit. To give a little bit of room. Pulling them. Okay, let's just see where we're at. Okay, let's I need you to be right about here. Just adjusting our attachments and how the muscles are organized. Good. That goes right in there, and these should be pulled apart a little bit. There we are. A little bit apart. Give us some room. Okay. Yeah, I think these are going to take just a little bit more work. So could I have you maybe take a deep breath in and out. Okay, that opens that up a little bit. Let's do one more. Deep breath in and out. Good. Let's get a little more scrubbing in there. Let's go ahead and just make just a little bit more room for the fascia, the muscles. All the tissues just need a little bit more room. just relax that down. Okay, upper chest here. We are going to do just a little bit of work here. And knead around. Good. There we are. Okay, these little areas here don't need a lot of work, especially because we worked with the shoulders, and this is an area that mostly has issues because other bigger areas have issues. If you keep your shoulders rolled forward, this is going to shorten these fibers, lengthen these fibers. So if we address the shoulders and they're able to relax down, these are going to naturally be able to lengthen. And actually, let's go ahead and do that. Let's just pull those apart a bit. Just lengthen that so it's less sore. There. Makes it a little easier to adjust. Good. Okay, let's just smooth that out a bit. And okay, because they're a little long now, we're gonna have to put them into place. Make sure we have the correct amount of tension. There. Good. Okay. Now, I want to see this in action a bit. Would you mind just taking a deep breath in? And out. Okay. Good shoulder movement. And these are right where they're supposed to be, so let's just smooth those down. Alright. We got a few more areas to wake up here, so how are we doing on the arms? Good. Good, okay. And the rest of the torso. About the hips here. Yeah, we can do a little bit of work there. So, again, this is an area that is going to benefit much more when we address the initial issue. This is secondary here. This is not going to take too much work. Just a little bit here. Good. Let's go ahead and just stretch out those fibers. They've softened a little bit with being pitched forward. And then we can shorten our fibers on the back. Okay, and just put them where they're supposed to go. There. Right in there. And just smooth that all down. And relax that all out. Okay. So why don't we go ahead and work with the back of the body, the posterior, dorsal side. So right in here, this is going to be quite a bit. So I'm just going to wake this up a little bit. poke around. There we are. Okay, so right in here, the occiput. We are going to need to really get in there. I think of all the areas, that one had the most tension. So we're going to just work with that. And just scrub all that out. Good. Good. Okay. Just keep going. Let's see. Alright. Let me stretch this out a bit. Okay. And I think this area, we need to pull in a little. I think the fibers have gotten a little too short, so we can stretch them to get them pliable and then put them back where they need to be. Now I need you to be right there. There. Good. And just smooth all of that out. And then just relax it down. There we go. Now, the neck here. Let's go ahead and just work on the sides, along the spine. Good. Have to do a good amount of shortening, but we need to get some of this tension out and then stretch it a bit. Get a little bit of pliability. Okay, so let's go ahead and just stretch each side. And then we just need to shorten that up and get a good amount of tension so that you're not slumped forward. Good. And smooth that out. Okay. And then just relax that down. Okay. Now, trapezius here. We're going to have to do this whole area. We're just going to open that up. There we are. There we are. Good. And then we're just going to just stretch that out. Along that trapezius muscle, and then shorten that up. Shorten it up. Good. And just it's supposed to be. Lay it nice. Just put that back. Good. Okay. Smooth it all out. Good. Relax it down. And then can you take a deep breath in? And out. Okay, everything's about where it needs to be. So let's bring this down to the hips and the sacrum here. Okay. I think this is the last major area that we really need to get. And we're just going to want to just do a little run through and measure tension levels. Just scrubbing that out. Getting that all smooth. Okay, so let's stretch this out. We're also going to shorten this area. It's a little too long. We need to just stretch everything out. And then shorten it up. Okay. Just squeeze that in. There we are. Okay. Need to attach everything where it needs to go. There. And smooth that out. Relax it down. Okay. Let's get everything else all smoothed out, so just stay like this. I'm just going to run this. You might feel a little bit of warmth with this one. Uses some gentle heat to make the other muscles unlock and soften down. Okay, down the back, down the legs, up the head, right in here, right in here. Okay. How am I gonna have you look for it? Okay, so along the face, warming up each area, the neck, still along here, the rest of the torso, smoothing that all down, the front of the arm, the front of the legs, each one. Good. Okay, so let's do a quick little run through and see what our tension levels are like. I'm just going to circle and tap along our areas and check in. Okay, that's a lot lower. That's a lot lower. How about right in here along the scalp? Yes, that's good. neck, the shoulders, arms. Good readings. And torso, hips, legs here. Looking good there. I won't have you look back around. I'm just going to go along the back here. Back of the head and neck look good. Let me just come around and do the rest of the back. Okay. Backs of the legs here. I'm just going to hook this behind you. Yeah, no, that looks great. Everything here, the tension is a lot less than it was before. So now we're in the very low threshold, which is excellent. So let's do one last little set of breaths, and then that'll help lock it in. If I could have you take a deep breath in and out. Deep breath in and out. Last one. Deep breath in and out. Excellent. So, your body has received a successful tension eraser treatment. We were able to really target those problem areas and bring that threshold quite a bit lower. So you should feel a lot easier. Moving should be a lot more pleasant. And if you ever get any little kinks or knots or anything, things start to tighten back up, you're more than welcome to come back anytime. I hope you enjoyed this tension eraser treatment. I hope you have a whale of a day and a good rest of your night. Thank you. Bye now. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And a big thank you to my patrons on Patreon, without which I wouldn't be able to make these videos. If you'd like to help support the channel, I have a link to my Patreon in the description box below. I offer perks like early access to videos, ad-free access to said videos, Patreon exclusive videos, and audio downloads of all my content.